Alrighty, hello, good afternoon. It's Monica from Life is Art, and this is the January, February, close to my heart catalog walkthrough for 2024. Oh my goodness, we are in 2024. That is just crazy that time has gone on. And we are here now in the future. And I'm just going to adjust my camera a smidge. It always shows up a lot different on the video than it does on my screen on my camera. I apologize for the shifting around. I hope you saw my announcement about how to, oh gosh, this is so weird, about how to comment on live YouTube videos. So if you have never logged into YouTube before, you need to log into YouTube using your Gmail account, and that will allow you to be able to comment on the live stream. Oh, I think we finally got it on the right spot. If you're in there and you're getting signed in, then if you subscribe to my channel and there's a little bell icon on the screen, if you click on that, it will also notify you whenever I do go live. So all of my videos now are going to be done live to YouTube because Facebook no longer supports this horizontal video. And for a lot of our crafting, horizontal is the way to go, right? If we're doing a 2-page layout, we need more space. And so it's just the way we're going these days. We're going to be doing the YouTubes. So be sure to sign in using your Gmail account and to YouTube, and then you'll be able to comment on the live stream. And I see a few of you have figured that out. Hooray! Good morning, Michelle. You're joining me from your craft room. You're going to be cleaning while you watch. Perfect. I had to do a massive decluttering in my craft room yesterday because after all the Christmas and holiday preparations, it was just kind of a crazy place to be. So I needed to get it tidied up for today and the upcoming crop. Hey, Robin, you figured it out. Awesome. So glad. Happy New Year. And Lisa's here too. Good afternoon, Lisa. You're going to, oh, you're doing some accounting. Ooh, that sounds like not fun, Robin, but at least you get to watch some crafty goodness while you do that. So we're going to be looking at the January, February, close to my heart catalog. So this is our 2-month catalog. We also have a year-long catalog that's ongoing that contains sort of the basic tools, basic supplies, you know, the cardstock, the adhesives, the albums, the memory protectors, the flip-flaps, the inks, the re-inkers, all that kind of good things. And so that is your go-to for all of those supplies. This is just our 2-month catalog that rotates throughout the year, that has our lovely paper collections and all our beautiful stamps in them. We've even moved some of the stamps that previously were in the core catalog into these 2-month catalogs, things like alphabet stamps. So those, you're going to see a couple of those in this new catalog as well, which is super fun. Hey, Janet, Happy New Year. Woohoo, it's 2024, the first day of the new year. Did you guys do some New Year's Eve celebrations last night? We did here. We were we have a tradition, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and basically birthdays and any kind of celebration. We do finger foods and board games. So we played a lot of board games last night, including some Jackbox TV games, and ate some finger food and had a fun time together as a family, ringing in the new year. And so that's exciting. Okay, let's take a look at this catalog. I'm loving the cover of it. I love how they took this photo of the folks at head office and they kind of got them to stand in a bit of a heart shape. And I think that's super cute. Can you think of different times when you would like to do that? Maybe a family reunion or a crafting crop group, you could all stand and either somebody was on a roof or they used a drone for this. With all those fancy drones we have nowadays, we can take some pretty awesome photography from a height, right? And so they're celebrating 40 years this year. And so that is exciting as well. So let's dig in. The first thing you're going to find is a message from Jeanette Linton, the founder and CEO of Close to My Heart. You can take a look at that. And this catalog, even if you don't yet have it in your hot little hands, I know a lot of the VIPs already have this catalog because VIPs can get it early. Yay, if you're a VIP and you place an order the 15th of December or later, you could have added this to your order. So you've already seen it, browsed it, marked it up, decided what you were putting on your wish list, all that fun stuff. Then there's some information about becoming a maker, which is what I do. Information about becoming a VIP. I highly recommend this, and I think all my VIPs would also recommend this program. You get a lot of perks, and it's well worth it pays for itself within an order, maybe 2 orders. It's already paid for itself, and especially right now, I believe until the end of December or the end of January, there's an extra special bonus available. So check that out. Okay, then we have our Operation Smile stamp, and this is a stamp that's available the entire year. It's called Your Smile Stamp Set, and it's got some beautiful sentiments. We've seen this before. I've used it several times, and I'm sure you're going to keep seeing it throughout the year. The great thing about Operation Smile is Operation Smile is a not-for-profit organization that provides life-changing surgeries for children born with cleft lip and palate. And so $7 US from every purchase of this stamp set goes directly to Operation Smile, which is fabulous. Then we have some information about our cut above layouts and cards. And these are things where there's no cutting. That's why it's called cut above. It's above cutting, where, more posh than cutting. And so everything is pre-printed, die cut, stickers, you put it together, and you have 2 beautiful layouts. This is great for people who are new to scrapbooking, maybe want to give it a try, people who don't have a lot of time, people who have limited space, or if you just want to make an album for a gift for somebody and you need to do it quickly because, their event, their anniversary or their birthday or whatever celebration is coming up in, 3 weeks, and you need to get some photos on pages, this is a fun, great way to do that. And you just need your photos and adhesive and a little bit of time and follow the instructions. Now, this is what we're waiting for, right? We want to see what the new goodies are in the catalog. Lisa said for New Year's they read some and then they went to bed at 11. Nothing exciting. Yeah, I know my bestie who lives up in Iqaluit. They were supposed to be going to see fireworks at 6 o'clock, and the 6 o'clock fireworks were canceled until today. And then the midnight fireworks went off, but they were already in bed asleep and didn't bother looking. Because sometimes it's just not worth staying up late. Hey, Mom, nice to see you're watching. And Heather's here. Pop the link on your post in Facebook. Your link didn't post. Oh, no, the link didn't post. Okay, I will have to check that out in a minute. So we have the first collection in the catalog, which is called Let's Party. And I'm just checking to see. It looks like it posted onto the event. It's not on the Facebook page. It's in the actual catalog launch party event. And it shows it as being there, so I'm hoping it's accessible. So hopefully everybody can find us. Hey, Heather. And so this is Let's Party. It's a really fun collection. It features Candy Apple, Ballerina, Bluebird, Jade, Sundance, French, Vanilla, and Black. And so those are all really nice, bright, fun, celebratory colors and icons, balloons, and party hats, and all those fun things. I love what they did with this. There we go. Sorry, just my video wasn't caught up with me. With this layout, how they have the blocks. I think I just did a Sketchy Saturday that was like this, but I love how they kind of have a larger bit of pattern paper, then a stripe, and then a cardstock bit. But on this cardstock, they actually went around it with a white gel pen, adding some stitch lines. They've got some stamped images that are layered up in some of these spots that don't have photos, bits of journaling on both sides, a nice little title in the center. Really fun, really festive. So let's party. And then if we flip over the page, we can see the nice little panorama of the pattern papers there, but also a couple of cards that have been created. This one with some beautiful tassels, some beautiful tassels going across it there. And then this one down here, look at these big numbers. And they've been inked a little bit, so they're a little bit darker on the bottom, which is a fun technique, layered up with some beautiful circles and some more stamped images. Super fun. Okay, now my video is probably about 15-20 seconds behind me. So if I don't see your comment right away, just know that hopefully I will get it. Oh, Robin saw it on the event page. Awesome. Yay, the link is there. Well, yay. It's possible, Heather, that you checked it before I got it posted. Because it takes me a minute to get in and get that posted. Or it hadn't loaded up properly. But hopefully it's there now. Okay, so we have, as usual, with all of our collections, we'll have a paper pack, a sticker sheet, a cardstock, an embellishment, and some digital art. So our paper pack and sticker sheet for this collection, let's take a look at this sticker sheet. Oh my goodness, how much fun is on this one sticker sheet. I love that there are so many beautiful bright colors and lots of little embellishments as well for nice little bits of, clustering and layering and filling in maybe empty spaces. These are always fun if you are somebody who occasionally stamps a little off center. You can add a little star or a heart or something just to kind of bring it all into the center. And so that's fun. And there's lovely titles on here too. We've got happy birthday to you and many more. Make a birthday wish. I could celebrate you every day. I love that because that works for any occasion. It's my birthday and happy birthday. Party animal, again, could work for just about anything. We've got then some smaller words. Let's celebrate. Woohoo! Let's eat cake. Feeling old. Yeah, because sometimes that happens. Party time. It's your day. Hip hip hooray. Yay. Make a wish. Happy day. Some beautiful striped borders here, but not only are they striped, they're scalloped. How fun is that? A little extra extra. The happy birthday is individual banners, but there's also some triangle banners with confetti and some other shaped banners with little check on them. These strips all across here all have banners on them. There are tabs. There's this almost looks like a scoop of ice cream, but it's a little tab and a cake. There's stars and hearts and bursts, cupcakes, arrows. Then up here at the top, we've got birthday guy, birthday girl, all about you, here's to you. Now, one thing I like about these birthday guy and birthday girl, I don't know about you, but girls and ladies don't necessarily mind being called girl, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or 85 years old. Being the birthday girl is okay. However, there's a lot of gentlemen in the world who don't necessarily want to be called the birthday boy when they're 70 years old. So birthday guy is a nice departure from that, right? Because guy works for a 3-year-old, a 50-year-old, a 90-year-old. So I really like that. Then we've got all about you, which doesn't even have to be birthday. Here's to you. Again, lovely celebratory, but not necessarily. It could be retirement. It could be anniversary. You know, here's to you can work for a couple as well, right? Even the I could celebrate you every day, that could work with a couple. So lots of fun, versatile stickers on here. Even this polka dot circle, super fun. All right, so that is the sticker sheet. And then for the pattern papers, I'm going to just scooch my catalog out here for a second. We have 3 different sheets, 2 of each. So this first one has a beautiful, colorful check that incorporates all the colors of the collection, and it's got a lovely birthday with a star border going across the top. Then the back side of that sheet is a multicolored confetti, which is really nice because it is a small scale pattern. The check is also sort of a small to medium size pattern, and it's nice to have those sorts of patterns that just kind of blend in. They don't have to be the super big patterns. Then our next one, we have this beautiful bold stripe in the candy apple and ballerina. The candy apple and ballerina, though, the stripe has sort of a textile pattern in behind where it looks a bit like linen, which is super fun. And then we've got a whole strip of banners going across there, kind of a double banner border. And that looks lovely and festive, and of course ties in with the back side of that page, which is a nice sort of larger scale pattern with beautiful banners. There's round banners and pennant banners and dovetailed end banners, and there's also in between, there's little French vanilla banners going across. It's just kind of subtle, but it's there. And then we have a piece that has yay all over it. I love that it's wavy. It's not straight lines. There is definitely a direction to it, though, so be careful when cutting it, especially if you're following a pattern. But I like that it doesn't say birthday. It just says yay. So it's celebration of any kind. And because these are primary colors, yes, there is pink in there, but it does not go one way, boy or girl, right? And then the border on this is a lovely black and white tiny little dot. And then the back side of that is this large pattern that has all the beautiful party icons. We've got presents and cakes and balloons of different shapes. There's hearts, there's polka dots, there's stripes, there's party hats, there's cupcakes, there's wine glasses that are clinking, there's confettis, there's stars, there's bursts, there's tassel pennant borders, so many fun things. There's candles, lots of different things. So you could totally fussy cut some of these icons. But I like, too, that again, this does not say birthday. It says your day. So this could be retirement, could be anniversary, could even work somehow into like New Year's, right? I don't know. You could work it into almost anything, any kind of fun celebration. So that is the pattern paper for the Let's Party collection. And then we also have the coordinating cardstock for this collection that, let me just grab it here. I've got everything layered up. You get 2 sheets of White Daisy. So there we go, 2 sheets of White Daisy. You get 2 sheets of Sundance. So that's the dark side, and I'm also showing you the back side of the cardstock, or 2-toned cardstock, or double-sided, that has a dark side and a light side. So true color is the dark side, and then the back side is the light side. And that gives you a little bit of variety. Then we have Jade, we have Bluebird, then we have Ballerina. Look at all those fun colors. And then to make it not so sweet with that ballerina, we added in the bold candy apple red. Isn't that beautiful? I love how it's the primaries plus some a tertiary or secondary, and then sort of a tint, because pink is a tint of red. So a little bit of variety there, super fun, super nice colors, and we haven't had a birthday collection for, it's been over a year since we've had a birthday collection, so it's nice. We can restock ourselves with birthday goodness. Then for the embellishments for this collection, we have a set of acrylic shapes, and they're really fun. They are not too bulky, but there are some interesting bits. So one of the interesting bits is this, which is the little swag and bow for that banner. And then we have all the little flags that can go on our banner. Super fun. And, you know, you could probably come up with some interesting ways of adding color to those. We might see some of that in the catalog. Then there are some, there's a little present, nice little outline, but it's also got the cutout pieces that can go inside, if I put it the right direction around. So there's the little pieces that tuck in there. Then we've got some balloons like that, and there's the little strings for the balloons, all different shapes. There we go. And there's also the word party. Now this party, you can either leave it whole like this, or you can pop it out and then put the other pieces in. Now when you're doing this, what you're going to need to do, because you've got your outline, you've got your inside, and then you're going to need to look. There should be the inside of the P to go inside there like that. Okay, so you're going to need to kind of look through and find there's little starbursts, and that's what a lot of people were putting on top of the banners, were some of these pretty colored starbursts. There's big ones and small ones. There are little birthday candles, these little guys here with little bursties on top. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. I think there's quite a few of them. There's pink ones, all those pretty little candles. So lots of fun things in that acrylic shapes set. So let me just scooch those out of the way, because I'll never pick them all up in a you know, a good time. And you may have noticed some little bits like this. Don't throw those away. Those aren't just little popped out pieces that are left over. Those are the confettis. So you could attach them on, you know, on a cupcake as confettis, or you could put them in a shaker. Lots of fun things. And then, of course, the digital art collection. There's some a layout idea, a card idea, and then, of course, a lot of the beautiful icons that can be cut out, and they're SVGs, so they can be shrunk or enlarged, and the layers can be taken apart. All that fun, good digital stuff. Heather's enjoying that kit. Yes. Good morning, Pamela. Yes, Michelle, the colors in this collection are really, really pretty and very versatile. Works for anybody. And I like that they're kind of fresh and bright and vibrant. So then we get to some stamp sets that coordinate with this collection. There's the Let's Party card making stamp that comes with thin cuts. Let's take a closer look at this. So on this, we get a few sentiments. We've got, this is one of my favorite ones because I think it's kind of a little bit cheeky. It says, "I'm sorry I called you old. I thought you knew." Do you know somebody you could send that to? Somebody who would understand that it's funny and not, you know, not mean. "Your birthday is an excuse to eat cake." Absolutely. "Happy birthday to you," and many more. Kind of the, you know, kind of going along with this song, the birthday song. We've got a beautiful cupcake that has a thin cut that goes with it. There are some candles or sparklers, however you want them. There's a little bit of confetti there. There's even a small little bit of sprinkles. There's a little heart. And then there's die cuts here for this little string and tassel line. Look at that, 3 different shapes of tassels. And also so you can cut multiples at one time through your die cut machine. So let's take a look at the artwork. We have these beautiful cards here at the top. I love how they have layered up different strips of paper. You might not notice that when you first look at the card, but there's a strip of pattern paper, a strip of the Sundance cardstock, a bit of the diagonal stripe, then there's the polka dot zip strip, a little bit more of the Sundance, which is probably just continued from above. Then there is also some pattern paper down here at the bottom, repeating what's at the top. So if you're me, you're going to cut strips. If you don't mind using all the papers, then you can cut a full strip and a full piece and then just add a couple strips. I like that they added a little bit of gel stitching along there, and then they broke up all that pattern by adding in some candy apple and some white cardstock, and they've just done some stamping on here, and they've done a little hand-drawn border to kind of bring it away from the background. But then they've overlaid it with another circle of that yay pattern, a couple stamped out cupcakes, and the lovely little sticker banner from the sticker sheet. And then we've got here that beautiful check. Again, they broke it up, adding in a little bit of the candy apple and the French vanilla. They did a bit of stamping with this small little sprinkles one in the background on that French vanilla, a sparkly border or die cut with all these beautiful colored tassels on there, layering up some pattern papers, and then that stamped sentiment with a couple of those stars from the sticker sheet. Then we have, turning the page, this Let's Party scrapbooking stamp and thin cuts, and that's the one I have because this was actually the collection that came in the Maker Launch bundle, and so that was nice. So I've had this for a little while, and this one is this is the stamp and thin cuts part. And so you get the thin cuts that cut out these numbers. And I just want to give you an idea of the size of the numbers. So you get a full sheet of stamps, but then look at the size of these numbers. Those are really nice, chunky numbers, which are fabulous on layouts, but also look pretty cool on cards. So these are 2-inch die cuts. So I just wanted to pull that out and show you, because sometimes when you look at them in the catalog, you think, those are kind of chintzy. They're not too big, but those are big numbers. And then you're going to get the party hat, the hello balloon, the little starburst, and then we've got a present. Happy birthday is just a number. Isn't that old? And then you've got the numbers, plus you've got these ones, the th, and, and st, to go, first, third, second, fourth, things like that. Then you've got the checkered stamps that can help you build some lovely checkered borders. So let's take a look at this artwork. I love how they did first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and they added a little bit of journaling pen there to put stitch lines in the center of all those numbers. How fun is that, adding that little extra detail? And then, of course, the photo with this little girl, she's got one of those great big 6 balloons. So it's happy 6 years birthday, hello. Lots of fun little stamping and stitching detail going around all of the pattern papers in the background to carry that from the letters. Lots of fun on that one. I love how festive this collection looks. So let's move that out of the way, and we're going to flip the page. And this is the scrapbooking workshop kit for this collection. Robin says, wow. So this is the scrapbooking workshop kit. You get all of the pattern papers, cardstock, pre-cut papers, exclusive paper patterns, stickers, die cuts, everything that you need to create these 3 double-page layouts. Plus, you're getting the full-size sticker sheet, and you're also getting some acrylic pieces. This is a sort of an exclusive kit specifically for this one. And you will have leftovers. So if you buy one of these kits, don't worry, you're going to be able to make probably another couple layouts. You'll probably make some cards. It's not just these 3 layouts. And the additional supplies, if you look over here, I like to mention this, because some of the items that we used to carry in our core catalog, we don't have in the core catalog anymore, and we don't always have on the website. But during these 2-month catalogs, we will be offering some special items that you can purchase that we may have carried before or might be the similar kind, and we're just carrying for the catalog. So we've got a black lip pen with thin foam tape and glue dots. Then we have the Aquarius Stickles Glitter Gel, which is optional for this kit, but is a fun supply to have on hand, along with the palette knives. And you just scoop up your glitter gel and put it on, and you'll see that there's an optional technique embellishing with the glitter gel, and I'll show you a close-up of that in a minute. And also the palette knives are listed there. So this first layout, you can see in the background here above this journaling spot, on this circle, and in a few spots over here, they've added that Aquarius blue sparkly glitter gel in the background, just as a fun little addition. And I think that is super cool. They also added it to this pattern die cut as well, layering up all the little things. I like how they use the stripes in the background as the mats, adding extra at the bottom, so it kind of gives that sort of Polaroid look, and that it carries all the way across, so it's almost like a striped border as well. Then down here, layout number 2, again, that Aquarius glitter gel added in behind some of the clusters and die cuts, putting that large piece of the pattern paper going across the 2 layouts, which is a fun technique, adding a little bit of extra confetti over here. And I like how they have these little banners with the dovetail that go in behind the photos, kind of breaking up sort of the straight line of photos by adding some vertical things there as well. And again, pulling those circles there and then adding circles in other places as well. Then on the last layout, I love this this little die cut swirly border. This was similar to the Baking Memories. Was it called Baking Memories? The one with all the gingerbreads and stuff, and we had a border like that. It's so fun, and not something that I would be able to do with my scissors without a lot of practice. And since I don't use a Cricut, it's nice to get those as die cuts every so often. Beautiful pattern paper in the background, some exclusive pattern paper on top in the bluebird, and it looks like linen, and then adding in those checkered bits, lots of fun circles, and of course adding the photos in. And just so you know, you don't have to cut your photos into a circle. Those are cutouts in the blue paper. It's an overlay, and so all you do is put your photo in behind. So you're just framing the photo. Super fun. Again, there's some of that glitter gel on there and lots of good things. So that is the Let's Party Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. And then here we have the Card Making Workshop Kit. And I always have to look at the stamp and thin cut set first, because that's usually what sells me on the kit. And I think this one is really nice because you get 2 large die cuts. One, well, actually, Happy is a bunch of individual dies, but you get Happy, and then you get this beautifully scripted birthday with a little heart over the eye. I don't know about you, but back in the day, all the little girls used to put little hearts over their eyes when they're writing. So it's got "It's Your Day," "Happy Birthday," "Wishes to You." There's 3 different kinds of balloons, some strings that mirror what are in those acrylic shapes as well. And so you're going to get the Stamp and Thin Cut. You're going to get the pattern paper sheets. One side has the confetti. One side has that large icon sheet. You're going to get 2 of those. You're going to get 5 sheets of cardstock candy apple, periwinkle, bluebird, Sundance, white daisy. You're going to get some clear sparkles. We love clear sparkles. The bases and envelopes for your cards. And you're also the stamp and the thin cut, obviously. And then additionally, to do the kit, you're going to, if you're going to do it exactly as they do it, bluebird ink, candy apple ink, Sundance, intense black ink, a Coral Shades tri-blend marker. So if you're somebody who was collecting the tri-blend markers, and a lot of them we don't sell individually anymore, but in these catalogs we're offering them here and there. So there's the Coral Shades Tri-Blend is available, and the black lip pen and some thin 3D foam tape. So the optional, or the featured technique is coloring with markers. So you're going to stamp and then you're going to color in the words, which is super fun. So we've got this long slim line. There's some stitching hand drawn in with the journaling pen. Then of course stamping it's your and coloring it in with the marker. And it looks like they did 2 different shades of that particular marker. So lighter on the top, darker on the bottom. And then the die cut birthday. And look, they even put the heart in a different color. They may have actually just colored with the same marker right on that cardstock. Then we've got It's Your Day here stamped out with beautiful strips of all those lovely cardstocks and pattern papers in behind. A bit of torn zip strip on the side. And this third one here, you're going to see an optional technique, learning how to highlight the contours of die cut sentiments using your journaling pen. So they're going to show you how to add those little lines on there for a little extra detail. So that's been done here on this one. I love how this is just 2 large pieces of pattern paper set kind of offset, and then a little bit of a strip of cardstock in the middle for a little bit of fun. Then there's some stamping right on the card base down there. Super fun, a little bit of bling. And then we've got some birthday wishes with the beautiful balloons that are stamped there in the Bluebird, Sundance, and Candy Apple. Super fun. So that is the Let's Party card making workshop kit. Okay. Now, if you're, if one thing, sometimes you look at these kits and you think, oh my gosh, that kit is $50. I'll let you in on a little secret. There are ways to get these for half price. If you want to host a party or just have a party of your own, I do that for a lot of people. A lot of my VIPs really like doing that, where I'll start a party for them, and then as they order over time, it builds up some rewards, and you can get some of these things for half price. Yeah. As long as they haven't run out. And then our second paper collection in the catalog is called Sweet Memories. And this is a very much different look. You can tell right away this is not bold like the Let's Party collection. And yes, that third layout, you are correct, Heather. That is very similar to another kit that they had. And, you know, I mean, layouts are layouts. The same ideas come up a lot, right? That's why we buy pattern books and things, because, oh my gosh, you just mix up the papers and add a few things here and there, and, you know, you can reuse the same sort of sketch or example over and over again, and it tricks your mind. You're like, it looks familiar, but it's all different. I love it. Okay, so in this collection, our colors are much more muted, and they're starting to look a little bit like spring. We've got mulberry, periwinkle, mist, sage, and mink and white daisy in this collection. It's very much sort of a vintage inspired, very romantic, fun vibe that's happening. Let me bring it a little closer so you can take a look at this artwork. I like the beautifully distressed and torn edges on all of these pieces. And I like it how there's such beautiful soft florals and patterns happening. And then they've added in this nice dark border onto the black and white photo. Black and white photos work really well with this collection, I have noticed. And which is super fun, because if colors in your photos are a little meh, or if you have heritage photos that you want to scrapbook, they work beautifully as well. Then we've got some beautiful die cuts that come with this collection, and lots of different, there's a little swan, like things that are kind of unexpected little moments that are happening here. And then on here we can see sort of that display of the beautiful patterns and stickers. I love this pattern that has the cameras all over it. And they've added in some strips of cardstock and pattern paper. And they have sanded this long vertical edge, but they have torn the top edges here and the side edge here. So I like how they mix it up. It has the same feel, but also a little bit different feel. right? One is very straight and sanded, so it gets distressed, and the other one is jaggedy and rough because it's torn. Then layering up all of these fun things in behind. Down here, look at that ledger paper in there behind there. Just a note and some beautiful stickers and stamps and die cuts and things happening there. So let's get in and look at this collection, the Sweet Memories. All right, so our sticker sheet for this collection. I always find the sticker sheet kind of gives you a nice feel for the collection. Let's take a look at this. I love that there are some large titles and there are some small words as well, sort of subtitles and little additional things you can kind of tuck. But then there are also some large and small stickers. There's also some borders. So we've got A Day to Remember, Picture Perfect Day, Sweet Memories, Living the Dream, Beautiful with that swan. And then this camera says Captured. Then in the smaller sort of font pieces, we have this circle that says True Story, an oval that says Together. We've got Every Day is a Gift, Looking Good, Remember This. There's a date tab here. No Place Like Home, another oval that says Lovely. Again, the swan says Beautiful. This one has sort of text in there, but it's sort of that mixed media, stamped on stamped look. We've got Blessed, Traditions, Bless This Home. We've got Snapshots. So lots of really fun, usable words that can be for any particular occasion you may be scrapbooking. And it's also nice. I like, this snapshots and No Place Like Home. Like, these things can be for just everyday things that are happening. You could have a picture of someone kind of chilling, reading a book, and, comfy cozy, and just have, No Place Like Home. I think that's super nice. And then, of course, we've got some strips along here, one at the top and one at the bottom, and they're all different, sort of like stamped up. There's text, there's icons. Then we've got some florals, some big, some small, some swaggies with foliage. We've got butterflies, a crown, more butterflies over here. There's a key, the camera, the swan, more butterflies. I love these interesting frames, which are good for layering up and even stamping on. Then there's some circular things. There's a crest. So many different bits and pieces, some hearts, little roses in circles, another flower. Lots of fun things. So that is the sticker sheet for Sweet Memories. And then we have the pattern paper. Let me just move this out of the way. So first off, oops, my catalog's flopping all over the place now. There we go. We have this gorgeous floral and foliage. It's kind of, it's an interesting pattern because the florals are small, but the pattern feels big. Does that make sense? Because the vines sort of trail for quite a ways. Then there's this beautiful geometric zip strip on here in the mulberry color. And then the back side of that is sort of the hero paper of the collection, with all the beautiful cameras and florals and words and things. Most of them have to do with photography. So if you're somebody who likes photography, like Forever Documented, Photographers, Photo Booth, Admit One, it all sort of has the feel of photography, which is, and I love these reels, the old reels from the viewfinders. You remember those from when you were a kid? And super, super interesting. Then we've got this ledger paper, which works as a cut up piece of paper, but it also works as a beautiful background. You can see they've got a cluster of some gorgeous things in the lower left corner, and then there's some stamped on top of stamped wording going on in the top right, all in the beautiful sage zip strip up top. There's some little doilies going all the way across. That's very pretty and a nice layering piece as well. And then we have those beautiful cameras in the mink color, mink or mist, maybe that's mist, all over, all different shapes and sizes, beautiful. And then we have this one here that's sort of an all over, kind of a textile tapestry look to it, and then a very curly zip strip in the same color. It almost, if you squint at it, it just turns into one color. It's a very tiny pattern on there. And then this last one, which is sage, and has a little, sort of a little collection of 5 dots that make this sort of diagonal pattern come out in your brain. And that is the back side of that one. So a wonderful collection of different patterns and colors going on in this Sweet Memories collection. And then we have the pattern paper, the coordinating cardstock, sorry, not the pattern paper. We just looked at the pattern paper. And you're going to get 2 sheets of white daisy. So we've got our white, and then we've got 2 sheets of mink. So there's the dark side and the light side of mink. Then we have sage, again, the dark side and the light side. The next one is mist. Then we have periwinkle. I like that combination of mist and periwinkle. Isn't that kind of pretty together? And then the mulberry. And there we go. Beautiful mix of sort of a gradient of blues and greens, grayish bits, and then that pop of the mulberry in there. Really pretty. Love the vibe. Michelle says, I wish the mink camera was the bulk paper for this. Wouldn't that be lovely? But no. Wouldn't it though? Sometimes you wish they would take our suggestions, right? Can we just make that one the bulk paper? So then we have the die cuts for this collection. That is the featured embellishment. And these are gray paperboard die cuts. So let me bring this in here. And you can see that this is nice. It's a thin profile. So if you are a person who likes to scrap flat and you don't like to add bulk of, say, maybe acrylic pieces, this is a nice option because it's just like adding on a little bit more paper, gray paperboard. And so we've got flags, we've got these lovely swirly things that are beautiful for tucking into clusters. We've got lovely day, photo op, there's some cameras, there's keys, hearts. Look at these hearts with the swirls coming off the side. There's arrows, there's another swaggy swirl, there's flowers, lots of fun things. Sometimes you can see a little bit more on the back, but this one is actually colored both sides. So you can flip them over if you want them going different directions. And there's also lovely techniques shown in this catalog of sponging on these beautiful die cuts to change the colors, which is beautiful. I like to be able to use the same product different ways, right? And then here we also have the digital art. So again, this one has a 2-page layout with lots of fun things. Look at this camera and the film strip. And then the film strip over here. There's also this, the real viewfinder. And then there's a border. There's a couple of different things for cards. And again, these are SVGs, so you can take all the pieces apart. Camera, some frames. There's a photo frame. Sentiments and titles, reunion, family ties, good times, love this. And of course, those fun little swirly pieces as well. So you can cut those yourself in any color, shape, and size. And then on the next page, we have some stamp sets. So there is the Sweet Memories card making, stamp, and thin cuts. And over here we have the scrapbooking ones. Now I don't have either of these yet. This one is on the way. Let me just lift this up. So here you can see that there are some fun things that are great for layering and clustering and adding little little bits here and there. I love these frames and tickets. And then there's this beautiful camera. Then you've got just a note, congratulations, hello friend, and thank you. Now these are a card making stamp set, but they would work awesome on a layout as well, or in a journal, or in a planner, or in a mini album. Lots of fun things. So let's look at the artwork up here. I love how they've used the ledger paper as the base for this, then adding some of that sage pattern paper with the periwinkle on top. They've cut a big circle of that mulberry floral, added in the crown sticker, some of the die cuts. There's this camera pattern in the background, and then they use this frame right here as the buffer. I love that it's already got some sort of stampy goodness on there. And then they added the Hello Friend in mulberry ink, just to make it stand out from all that fun stuff in the background. Here they've taken 2 different sizes of circles and cut out pattern paper, distressing the edges just a little bit with that beautiful pattern paper in behind that basically sets the stage for everything. And then just a little layered up bit of goodness with some stickers and these stamped and die cut images. And then again, using that mulberry ink to make the little sentiment pop in the center of that die cut curly frame. Really pretty. And tucking in a few of those paperboard die cuts. Then the Sweet Memories scrapbooking stamp and thin cuts. We have some lovely titles. We've got Family is Everything, Photo Memories, Never Forget. Look, there's even a timepiece included there, along with some florals. Captured Moments in a nice little plaque, or what's that called? Like a label almost. And then there's a picture corner as well, which is fun. Then some little curly cues that you can add here and there for decoration. A beautiful star and a floral. And I like in this layout, they started out with some sage cardstock with just a tiny little bit of that border showing. They used that ledger paper, but because they're only using this part, they can save that other side with that beautiful cluster in the corner for a different project. Pattern paper, zip strips lined up in behind, and then some layers of pattern and cardstock going on here. But then look how they've actually stamped all of those sentiments and layered them up just using different colors. The mist and the mulberry and the sage, and just adding them in there. Then there's the little butterfly sticker. They stamped a couple of the trio of the florals in different colors. Some more down here. A little journaling spot that they just cut out by hand. So that's just a rectangle. They've notched the corners and then done a hand-drawn line around it. Super fun. I love how they did that. And again, the black and white photos look really good on this. Then there's the Sweet Memories Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Just going to take a sip of water here. Michelle is loving both of those stamp sets. Yes, those two are definitely a fun vibe, right? Especially if you like that look of layering and being able to tuck things in. These are great tucked in amongst a cluster of florals, either fussy cut or stamped or stickers, because it kind of breaks them up, adds some square edges amongst those florals, and kind of looks like, you know, when you get a bouquet and there's the little note tucked in about who it's from the florist and all that stuff. It kind of gives you that vibe too. So here we have the Sweet Memories Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. The additional supplies are added here, and one of the additional supplies is a Distress Oxide color Victorian Velvet. So I added that to my order because I didn't have that color. And also the blending brushes. And I got to say that our blending brushes are fabulous. This is a brand new one. And I just like to sit here and play with it because it's so clean and soft, and it just feels like you're petting a bunny. But they're one of my favorite new tools that we started carrying just, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And love them. So you're going to get the paper pack and sticker sheet. You're going to get some cardstock. There's charcoal, mulberry, mink, and white daisy. You're going to get 4 exclusive pattern papers that you can't get anywhere else. You're also going to get some exclusive die cuts. You're going to get the sticker sheet. You're going to get a special pack of the die cuts in the paperboard. And they will create these 3 double page layouts plus lots of extras for creating your own things. I think this is super fun how they have cut sort of circle wedges and created sort of this fanned out thing down here. Like normally if you saw something that was cut like that, you would think of a bouquet inside of it, but I love how that they actually kind of made a bouquet just of the pieces and then added some florals at the bottom. They did some inking in behind with the Victorian Velvet Distress Oxide, giving a nice little bit of depth in behind those images. And I love that the photos are done on such dark photo mats. The ledger paper in behind repeating from one side to the other. So this side, they use that cluster in the corner as part of the design. And this one, it's kind of just in there in the background. They've covered a lot of it up. Totally can do that. I also like how they've overlapped some of these pieces over onto the photos. That's not everybody's cup of tea, but I kind of like that look. And then down here, we've got that beautiful pattern paper in behind. I like how they took one piece and added most of it over here and a little bit over there just to pull it from one side to the other. We've got that reel or the viewfinder in there behind a big circle. I love that they've added some cardstock for a dark color to kind of separate between the photos and the pattern paper. But then there's also this beautiful sage pattern paper in behind, giving grounding to all the beautiful florals, because when you think florals, you think green, you know, because of all the leafy goodness in behind. So that's super fun. They also double matted or added a mat of mulberry behind those photos as well. This side, this photo doesn't even have a mat, but these two little ones do. I like how they've got things tucked in behind there. And then also this cluster that just sort of organically grows up the side there. How fun is that? So the featured technique on here is embellishing with the Distress Oxide. And if you notice, they even did some Distress Oxide on the die cuts and stickers, just to add a little bit of color to those pieces. How fun is that? Then on this third layout, I love that this side, they've got just a strip of the pattern paper top to bottom, outlined with some sage cardstock, this beautiful exclusive pattern paper in behind. On this side, they have the same pattern paper, but instead they've made this beautiful dovetail. It gives the same impression, but it gives it also a little bit of difference. I love how this is a banner line. Look at that. So this little dovetailed photo comes off the banner line, and there's so many little things kind of coming off. There's the key, the little crest, some of the little stickers are hanging down there, another little photo, and then some of those beautiful die cut pieces coming across, little circles to tie the ends together. And then they repeated that over here in a smaller scale with some journaling little bits in here. Isn't that a fun technique? And this one's just a nice little square on this side, a little bit of things tucked in behind. Super fun. I love that not only do you get to make the workshop kit, but you learn some interesting embellishment techniques, some interesting cutting ideas, and how things can go together and all work together in clusters. Hey Laura, Happy New Year. Glad to see you're joining us. And then we have this Sweet Memories card making workshop kit. So again, of course, we have to look to the stamp and thin cuts first. And this one is really interesting because you're getting some stamps, but you're also getting some interesting thin cuts that don't involve stamps. There's this lovely doily with a large, actually it's more like a circle with a scallopy edge, but a fancy scallopy edge. So you're getting this large space in which you could stamp, and then you're also getting this lovely swirly bit, a couple of the little placards there, and then of course some stamps. So we've got this beautiful swirl with some text behind, butterfly, this little edge, which could be super fun for doing borders. And then, of course, this beautiful cluster of florals. Get well soon. So grateful just because you're the best. Beautiful words that work for any occasion. You're going to get the bulk paper for this collection. Now, this is the one Michelle was saying she wished it was the camera. But you're going to get that beautiful all-over pattern, as well as the sage with the little dots and then the mulberry zip strip. And then here we've got some coordinating cardstock in mulberry, mist, mink, and white daisy. Some silver glitter gems, of course your card bases that envelopes the stamp, and the thin cuts. In additional supplies, they say mink, mist, mulberry, and sage inks, ballerina shimmer brush, a round sponge, your all-purpose mat, and some foam tapes. So those are little optional additions to this. So I love how they've taken the mulberry cardstock and they have stamped on that back cardstock to make a background pattern using that floral swag. Isn't that super cool? They just stamped it, and then it's also sort of the highlight of the card. But because this is very light, tone on tone, a little bit of inking around the edges, some torn paper. They've taken that doily thin cut and either done two of them or cut one in half and spread them apart with the mink in the inside. And they've, on the mink, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but they used that little stamp there to create a lovely little border, top and bottom, on the mink. And then, of course, adding in all those fun things. And I think they used the ballerina shimmer brush to add some color here and there on that floral. Get well soon. And then down here, they did some sponging and things on this die cut swirly bit to create some fun color. I love how it's kind of two rectangles and two squares to create the pattern for the background with a zip strip across the center. And this one they stamped with the same color, or maybe the mulberry, and then they used the ballerina shimmer brush for a little extra detail. This one's fun, where they've got this diagonal stripe, and then they used that same border stamp just to put a little border along the edge. Again, background stamping, tone on tone with that beautiful floral cluster on the mulberry cardstock, sponging on the swirl, and then adding a little ballerina shimmer brush behind the sentiment there as well. This one, they did the border stamp in the sage along this piece of cardstock, did some splattering with that ballerina shimmer brush, and also highlighting a bit of the sentiment. Super fun ideas. And this is also stamped, this little pattern piece in here, that's stamped with that floral stamp. I love how you get the ideas of what to do with your tools, right? Who knew you could take this little stamp and create this background paper and this background paper, and also the highlights for, you know, the main part. One stamp does it all. So that is the Sweet Memories card making workshop kit. Then we have our mix-in papers. And I love the mix-in collections. I always get the mix-in collections because it adds a lot to the collections you buy in the catalog, plus any other time you want just a pattern in a particular color, because that's what they have been doing with the mix-ins, is that they just have beautiful patterns using sort of one color at a time for the most part. So here we have ballerina in a beautiful textile, almost like a tea towel, check or plaid. Then there's a ballerina zip strip going across the top, just in a nice little stripe. The back side, this is the only drawback of the mix-in pattern papers, is that there's only one piece of each and there's a pattern on both sides. And that makes it hard because you have to make choices. And we don't like making choices. So this is a nice little ballerina diagonal, teeny tiny little stripe. In fact, one line is solid and the other one is dashed. And you probably can't even see it on the camera, but it is beautiful. So there's ballerina, and then we have a black and white in a tiny little plaid or check. And then again, a beautiful zip strip on there that's a little bit more bold. The back side, this is kind of fun because, I don't know, if I hold it up, you won't notice this as much, maybe from a distance. You can see there's kind of some distressing happening in various places. And it's all just little tiny, teeny circles. They are itsy bitsy, teensy weensy, little hand-drawn circles all over this piece of paper that create that beautiful pattern. Then the next piece is in the bluebird. And again, it's a very tiny pattern that gives you a lovely overall feel, but there's also distressing. If I lay it down here, you'll see that there's little distressed blotches here and there. But this is actually horizontal, teeny tiny thread-like lines with dots on them. So it's lines and dots, although it probably just reads as pattern. But when you see it up close, and these are really useful for cards too. And then there's a little tiny check up at the top. The back side are these cute little circles with rays of dots coming out of them that kind of create a little bit of a little bit of a like floral feel about them, but very geometric. And then we have some jade in this fun geometric pattern. And again, a little bit distressed because it kind of goes with the vibe. And then a stripy dotted border up at the top. I know it's kind of weird. Stripy and dotted at the same time. The back side is sort of this tone on, well, not tone on tone, but sort of jade and sage little check, but it's like the check is spaced out. It's like little squares in a pattern. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's very pretty. And then we have mink, and this is fun. We saw something in this similar pattern way back when we had the something fierce. I think this was in a clover or something. This sort of zigzaggy. It might have even been on one of the Picture My Life cards. I seem to remember it in blue or green or gray or pink or maybe all of them. And then at the top we've got dots again in a really nice pattern. Then other side has sort of larger, well, larger but still small swirly dots. They've been kind of drawn in and looking lovely in the gray. And then we have some of the, I think that's periwinkle maybe, and a little tiny leaf motif going across, kind of in a stripe, but also in like a diamond. The same motif is on the zip strip, so you get a little bit better view of that up here in the zip strip. And then on the back side, just a nice little horizontal stripe. Very tiny, very petite. I kind of like that all of these mix-in patterns in this particular collection are very small scale, which really kind of, let me bring in for comparison. If you compare it to the pattern on this pattern paper, this is a very large scale pattern. And then this is such a nice contrast to have those tiny little patterns to go along with it, right? So that kind of gives you that idea of how the mix-ins really do mix in very well. All right, so let's move along. We're going to be here all day if we look at everything. The layout that they use to show this particular collection, I think, is fabulous. I like that they mixed in some of the patterns from the paper collections as well. But one thing I wanted to point out is I really like this idea. These two corner ones, they took the pattern paper, they distressed the edges, and then they folded it back, sort of a 3/4 of the way fold, and down here as well. And I think that really kind of plays up the feel of a quilt. This particular page looks very much like a quilt pattern to me. And like an older quilt pattern, because they distress the edges of these squares. They've got the lovely stitching with the journal pen going around them all. But then they added little embellishments on top, which I think is really pretty. The photo and the mat is a little bit larger than the space that 4 of these blocks would cover, so it kind of has a nice overlap, which means you also don't have to cut out pieces to go behind there. And then, of course, they incorporated some of the paperboard titles from the core catalog, but putting some of those patterns from the mix-in collection in behind and sort of fussy cutting around them. All you got to do is glue those on and then fussy cut, and you're good to go. If you love the Let's Party acrylic shapes, you can find even more acrylic shapes and titles on page 25 of our Essentials catalog. So that actually might be, I don't know if there's a black acrylic one, but I know there's a black paperboard one. So it could be acrylics too. Yeah, lots of fun. I like you can mix and match. And now this is always a fun page for me. Before you get into all the fun stamp sets of the catalog, you get this fun teaser page that has all these little snippets, and you kind of want to run ahead and see what the what the stamp sets are that these are from, but you also want to spend time looking at them because they look so pretty. Does anybody else get that feeling when they flip through the catalog? Robin's heading to the gym. We'll see you later on replay. Awesome. And yes, Brenda, the small patterns and then the soft colors, definitely easy to tuck in and use on lots of things. Sorry, just taking a sip of my water there. I'm talking so much, the mouth's getting dry. And oh yes, Michelle, that mix in layout, yeah, that's on my to-do list too. I really like that. And I think you could take, this is why I try not to get rid of my catalogs right away. I keep them around for a while because you can use the same idea of a pattern with lots of different papers, right? It doesn't just have to be with the mix-ins, but I do love that combination because, of course, there's blues and greens on there, and we all know that Monica likes blue. All right, so let's take a look at this first half of the teaser page. We've got some gorgeous fun things going on here. We've got a couple different kinds of bears. We've got a little mouse. We've got a hummingbird, butterflies, hearts. So many fun things. First off, we've got this You're the Sweetest. I love that they've done hand-drawn border, layered up all of those beautiful dovetails. That's a perfect card to make. Or even sort of like a picture of my life card to add into a layout, a little cluster. If you've got all those little scrappy bits just hanging around, grab them all, dovetail them, and tuck them under a sentiment or a title, and look at that gorgeousness that you can create just from your little scrappy bits that are kicking around. Then we've got these beautifully layered hearts. I love that there's 2 different layers there. A nice chipboard cutout with some stamping on it. Little torn bit of pattern paper. Some inking on this cardstock. They've sanded the edges of it to give it that distressed look and then added the die cut. A little bit of sponging in behind. Sponging on the florals, or that could be with blending brush, probably with blending brush. Beautifully colored. Look at this. These are colored with the pencil crayons, the new pencil crayons. There's 3 different sets, and that hummingbird's been colored with pencil crayon. This little guy, I think he was actually watercolored, maybe with a the small brown round water brush and some of the inks to create that look. I love the ink blending in behind this stamped sentiment, and then also the little stamped sort of little snowflakes. This little bear, he's a little polar bear, and he's been colored with just a little, either a little bit of ink and a water brush or a marker, just in a few little spots. I like how you can do that. And then lovely inking in behind this die cut so that that beautiful ballerina color shows through behind the word lovely, and then layered up with pattern papers and mix-ins. And again, it's beautiful mix-in in behind. Look how they even stamped on that tiny little stripy diagonal mix-in paper. You're the very best. Look at that. He's even got little bear slippers on. Oh my gosh, so cute. Beautifully colored with marker, I think. Or even inks with the water brush. So pretty, and a little bit of the dots on there. Some little stars. He's getting ready for a night-night hibernation. And here there's some beautiful inking that's been done with some of these images, and you'll see them as we go through the catalog. Some stamping in the background, layering up there. Beautiful tag, a little bit of thread there. We don't carry the thread anymore, but I know a lot of you still have it in your stash, plus you can get it different places. And then that little bit of mulberry diagonal stripe in behind, but this inking been done either with a blending brush or a sponge to create that fun look on the deer. Look at this. Isn't that a fun postage stamp stitched interior frame? And then some beautiful stamp happening in behind there. It's interesting, when they were going through the catalog with the makers, they actually said they had to redo this one because they had colored it to look like water, to make it look like a little river. And then they couldn't figure out why the road would end at the river and people's walkways would end at the river, and there was a mailbox at the river because it's actually supposed to be the street. But the people in the art department were like, it could be a river. So they made it look like a river, and then they had to switch it. Super cute. And then look at these two little elephants, Mommy and Me, and beautifully colored. That looks like it's been done with a water brush and some ink, possibly bluebird, like really pale. And then that nice little shape tag. I think that's from the, oh, it's the big tag collection. I have that one. It was just in the Boxing Week sale, that particular die cut set. And then look at this, the little mouse on skis and the little guy making snowballs with these little scallop circles that have been sanded around the edges, a little bit of inking in behind things. So fun. Okay, let's see, where are all these images coming from? We gotta know. All right, here we have our first page, and we have up here Bear Hugs and Dear Wishes stamp and thin cuts. Now you can also get it with just the stamps. I tend to buy things like this with just the stamps because then I can fussy cut, and I love fussy cutting. But for those of you who would rather do anything than fussy cut, they do come with thin cuts. And then down here we have the Snow Mice stamp and thin cuts, or just the stamp. So let's take a look at what you get. So in the Bear Hugs and Dear Wishes, you're going to get this cute little bear. Now they had it in the teaser page as a polar bear, but really just whatever color you make it determines what kind of bear it is, right? Then there's a beautiful fox, a moose or an elk, a deer, and an owl. We've got Bear Hugs, Winter Wishes, For a Dear Friend, Thinking of You. Then there's some snowflakes. Then there's some flurry action happening there. And now you might look at that and go, well, Christmas is over. Why do I need that? Well, you know what? Especially in the northern hemisphere where we live in Canada, we haven't even really had winter yet where I live. We've had like 1, maybe 2 days of snow. There's a little bit of snow out there today, but it only arrived overnight. And so we know that we're going to have a few months yet of winter weather. And so we are going to have, things where we can wish winter wishes, and we can have snowy things. And then the other thing is you can ignore the snow, and you can have these animals any time of the year. Foxes, you can have a camping theme in the middle of the summer. You're going fishing and oops, there's a bear. He's fishing along with you. And then down here we have the little mice. I love the 4 different poses. We've got him making little snowballs to toss, skiing, sledding, and this one's kind of cute because you don't have to include the sled. You could always just kind of clip that off and just have him all bundled up in his snowy gear. And then this mouse rolling a great big one. Then it says, thanks snow much. Winter greetings. Have a flurry of fun. Keep calm and wait for snow. Wishing you happy winter days. And then there's some flakes and some little hand-drawn circles there for a little extra embellishing. Let's take a look at the cards that were created with these. So this first one, I love how they've got the 4 different colors kind of in a crisscross, which is super easy to do. All you do is you can make a set of 4 cards. You take one of each of these pieces of paper, cut it corner to corner, and then mix and match. But before you do the cutting and the mixing and matching, do some tone on tone all over stamping. So this one's stamped with that little snow flurry. So is this one. This one is with the large and small snowflakes. And again, this one with the large and small snowflakes. Then a circle in the middle. There's been a little bit of gel pen worked around the edges. And then a little bit of splatter with the probably the acrylic gloss spray. Some bling, and layered up a fun little banner. Now this banner, you probably have a thin cut somewhere maybe that cuts a banner like that. But all they did in the art department was cut a long strip, stamp the image, fold it back and forth, dovetail the ends, and bada boom, bada bing. And then one a little bit thinner in the center with that dark little bit that tucks out the ends. A little bit of string, a little bit of glitter paper under there. I think maybe in the Seabrook or the Miss. No, that looks more like Seabrook color underneath there, because that's one of the colors that they used here. And look here, then they've used that little stamp and a little bit of sponging to create some embellishing around there, some torn edges to make sort of a nice little spot for all of our little friends to sit. a little bit of inking in behind the stamped sentiment, some snowflakes in behind, 2 layers of matting in behind there, and look, that beautiful inking with the blending brushes in behind. That's all the coloring they had to do for those little animals with just a little with a blending brush. Super simple, super quick, and very beautiful. Nice effect. Then there's a bit of splattering on there with probably a shimmer brush. And look at that. Just 4 lovely circles. You think, oh no, 4, we like odd numbers. But remember, this little mouse has got his own little big circle too. So that gives us our 5. And then the little cluster here. I love how kind of looks like they're working together. Have a flurry of fun. This one is super cool if you've been noticing it as I've been talking. The edges of these have been sanded to give them that sort of frosty look. This one has also had some distressing and a little bit of gel pen. But then look what they did. They die cut a circle out of a piece of cardstock to make a mask with a circle in the middle. They laid it on top of this acorn paper, and then they used their gel pen. Yes, their gel pen, not the splattery stuff. They used their gel pen, and look, they just drew all these dots down here to really fill in the bottom part of the circle. And then when they got to where they were happy, they just made bigger dots spaced farther apart. Isn't that such a cool technique? I definitely need to try that. A little bit of that Seabrook glitter paper in behind there, a couple little harbor tags hanging down, and so pretty. I love that. It almost gives it that snow globe effect without having a frame. You don't need a frame to create a snow globe effect. So cool. I need to buy more gel pens. I'm going to wear some out trying that out. All right. Our next page, we have the Floral Heart Thin Cuts. Now, you might have seen this in one of the sneak peeks, this Floral Heart Thin Cuts. And it's a die. And it cuts out this intricate pattern. So it's the inside cut. It doesn't cut around the outside of the heart. It cuts the inside, which is kind of fun if you want to put it in the middle of a panel on a card or a layout. Super cool idea. So you're getting kind of the negative space, and then you can show through the color from the cardstock behind or the inking behind. Super fun. And then we also have Heartfelt Thoughts stamp set. And there's some thin cuts. The thin cuts are these 2 little guys right here. Just those 2 little florals. So it has I heart you, love, be mine, I love you, me and you, happy anniversary, thinking of you, thank you, thinking of you. And then this little vine border stamp. Now, you can also get this as a bundle. It's called the Heartfelt Bundle. And you will get the Floral Heart Thin Cut as well as the Floral Heart Stamp and Thin Cuts. Now, why is a bundle a bundle? Why do they bother with the bundles? Because if you look at the prices, you're not saving anything by buying the bundle. Well, the reason they buy the bundle, remember when I said you could have a party or, and just let me know, I want to start a party. I will start a party for you and list it on the website. And if you earn some rewards, the more purchases you have in your party, you can get some things for half price. So if this item is bundled together, you can get both these items using one half price reward. So you can talk to me about parties if you would like. And then here you can see some beautiful artwork that has been created. I love how, look at that, they've got some dark mulberry in behind this beautiful white die cut. Just the simple happy anniversary on the ballerina cardstock, and then mulberry and a little bit of silver shimmer trim. Beautiful. And then just a couple little bits of tiny clear and bitty sparkles, and then a few little pink dots there. A little bit of inking in behind this title. I like how they layered up a stamped one and then a stamped and fussy cut floral. A few little clear sparkles on there. Some lovely mix-in papers, and then that stamped vine going across for a lovely border as well. Here they've used color-on-color cardstock for this look. And they've got some peach cardstock as well as the ballerina, or no, sorry, peach and papaya. And then stamping, this is very a monochromatic card. And then this one here, they did the cutout. This is interesting. So they did the cutout on mulberry, and then they put a piece of white daisy in behind and stuck them together, and then they fussy cut around the edge to create this look so that you don't see the pattern paper through, you just see the plain white cardstock. It's very subtle, but I like that. And then the zip strip and some glitter paper and a little bit of inking in behind the Be Mine. Of course, we know January, February, we're heading into Valentine's Day. Plus, there's a lot of people, you know, every year, if you're married, you have an anniversary. So lots of fun things you can do for this, or Galentine's cards. Lovely. Flipping the page, we have the Good Night Teddy Bear stamp and thin cuts. Aren't they so cute? So we've got the little guy that we saw at the front with his little slippers on, having a mug of something steamy. Here he is with his little blankie. Oh, look at the toe beans. And then here he is in bed with his little teddy bear. I love it. Teddy bear with a teddy bear. And then here he is in a comfy chair with a blankie reading a book. We've got a moon, star, sending bear hugs. You're the very best. Happy place, sweet dreams. And you warm my heart. So cute. This is the point in the catalog launch party where I start losing my voice. Okay, so we've got some beautiful Harbor cardstock in the background that's been splattered with some acrylic gloss spray, layering up cardstock and mix-in papers and all sorts of fun things. I think there's been some sanding on some of these papers, stamping with the stars, some gel pen. I love that they've stamped on colored cardstock, tone on tone, and cut them out. Beautiful coloring with the pencil crayons. So sweet. Sweet dreams. Happy place. And of course, a cute baby doesn't hurt either. Then on this page, we've got Mom and Me stamp and thin cuts. And look at that. There's a whale. So cute. A little baby whale. There's a mama fox and a baby fox. A mama elephant and a baby elephant. Doesn't have to be a mama. It could be a daddy. And then a daddy bunny and a baby bunny. Now we've got Mum with a U, Mom with an O, love, me, welcome, baby. Now, of course, they're focusing on the mom and the mum because Mother's Day will eventually be coming. And so that's nice to add in there. But you could, of course, have this for dads too. We've got some little hearts, some little florals. There's an and look at this beautiful layout that they've created. Again, they've taken a big circle with some really aggressive edge inking. They've just taken their ink pad and like hit the paper. You can see the edges of the ink pad hitting it here and there. Sometimes, you know, we're very dainty with our inking. This one, they were just like, we're putting ink on there. Here it is. There's ink. And so they layered it up with a second circle, a little bit offset, and a couple different pattern or cardstocks for a matting on this. I love that they've tripled up the little floral here to create a little swag. Look at that. The two little foxes layered on top of each other, and they even added the floral on top of the large fox for a little bit of a hairdo, and some lovely journaling there. Here they've used that love stamp as to create pattern paper. And they also used the little hearts to add some random stamping to the background cardstock, layering up lots of the greens in behind those two Sundance photo mats, and then a little pop of the desert rose down there behind the two little whales. I love that they've got whales and bunnies on this one. They used the love stamp in behind the bunnies on that circle too, tone on tone stamping, and a few little of the dots. Some bling bling. Those colored dots. Now, I have got to tell you that this was the first item in my cart before I picked any of the paper from the collections, before I picked any of the embellishments from the collections, before I did anything else. This stamp set had to hit my cart and be in there because it's called Legendary. And let me give you a look at what Legendary looks like. There are 3. These look like those Highland cattle. This guy, look at him with his big old horns out there, and he's got a cowboy hat on. She, I should say, she. It's got an udder. It's a she. But I love how floofy they look. And then this one down here with a nice little scarf. And then this one here with the florals. And just so fluffy, you can't even see, like, there's no clearance here. There's just floof. And like one eyeball peeking out. It said, heard you had a bad day. How could you have a bad day when you could see these cute little critters? And then we've got Legendary and Thank Moo. I love how this one has little snowflakes around it, but it almost has that look of little flies too. Super cute. So here we go. The best, using some of those titles, the paper titles die cuts. And then we've got Legendary, a nice little circle for some journaling. I love all the stitching on the toffee colored paper. Makes it look sort of like leather. And then look at that. A little circle with a little head tip to the side. So cute. And then this one, I love, it's tone-on-tone stamping. So they've used the same stamp twice. But because they used 2 different methods, it reads as a different kind of stamp. And then here's one where he's facing head on with the scarf. And even though these photos are not winter, this guy's got a scarf on. Doesn't matter. It's all good. And I love the color blocks going on and behind those photos. Really lovely. This next page, if you are a Boy Scout or Girl Scout or like camping, this is the page for you. We've got Troop Life stamp and thin cuts, and that is this collection here. And so you get a tent, you get a compass, a backpack with a water bottle and some sunglasses. We've got our marshmallows, our fire, a little fleur-de-lis, Eagle, Prepared, Eat, Sleep, Scout, Repeat, Troop Life, this fun title that's got the clouds and the tent and the fire and the trees inlaid in it. I love this kind of wavy bit. And then there's also Girl Scout stamp and Boy Scout stamp. And each of the words, letters in Scout has a different sort of icon going on it. So this one, if you know the Girl Scouts, they've got the little sash that they keep their badges on. The Boy Scouts, so they've got the little tie that goes around their neck. So here is a layout that's been done with this. I love this really heavy edge, distressed, torn edge. It really kind of adds a fun mountainy vibe in the background. Then they did some tone-on-tone stamping with the compasses and the backpacks and the stars. Inking all across the bottom, I think probably with a sponge, to create a nice sort of green layer for this tent and the trees to sit on. Now, I do recall where they said the trees were. I think that was from one of the digital collections. And then, of course, this one, there's kind of a fun background wood grain effect that's happening. And I think that is from the stencil that we have already. It's not a new one. It's one we just had that had wood grain. I love how they've used the fancy brackets to create this spot behind the title, and how they inked up the title in 4 different colors. Wowee. And then double layering with this. They've used some of the words from here, the Eat, Sleep, Scout, Repeat, to create a nice little edge along this cardstock. And lots of fun things going on there. Look at the torn edge over here as well. Super fun. All right, so that's the Troop Life. Then if we turn our page, we're getting into some more gorgeousness. Look at those hummingbird wings stamp set and thin cuts. We've got hummingbird that's flying, fluttering away, one that's sitting. We've got a nice little branch here, a floral, a cluster of floral branch there. You're the sweetest, hello, wishing you well, spread your wings. There's some dots to create a nice little pattern in behind. How cute are they? And then down here at the bottom, we've got In the Moment stamp and thin cuts. And so for those of you who like doing some yoga and some journaling and drinking some tea and having some candles, this is for you. Stop living on autopilot, start living on purpose, mind, spirit, body. We don't give up, we step up. Good things are coming. And we've got the girl here doing her yoga, water bottle, notebook or journal, our tea. There's the yoga mat, candles, lots of fun things there. Let's see how they were used in some artwork. Michelle was not surprised that the cows were the first thing in my cart, right? The Highland cows, they're so cute, aren't they, Brenda? Look at this. They've used those florals from the hummingbird and created a little bit of a wreath and then used the vines to come off those florals. I love how they just sort of, there was no frame. They created their own frame. A little bit of inking in behind, a little die cut, and you're good to go. Then over here, we've got that little dot, you know, that you can use to make a border. They used it to make a cluster of dots with some inking in behind. They've got the branch, but of course this is the guy who's got his wings out, so he's flying. Another little stamped floral there. You're the sweetest. Super cute. That's one of the pattern papers from the mix-in with a little bit of shimmer trim or glitter paper and some acrylic dots and clear sparkles. Here we've got Spread Your Wings, and they've done some inking in behind all of these items to tie them together. Both of the hummingbirds beautifully colored with, it looks like the pencil crayons. This one almost looks like a bit of ink and pencil crayon. Oh no, it is colored pencils. It says, add vibrant, beautifully blended colors to your stamped hummingbirds and flowers using colored pencils. Awesome. They did a really good job because it looks like watercolor. And then some sprigs of those florals and some of the florals tucked in and around some mix-ins. They use that dot stamp, again, to create a little border. And then down here we've got our stamped image here with the yoga pose and the journal, the candles, all the little accessories, and the stamped sentiments, some bling from what looks like black and white dots going on there. I love how this is the main photo, but then there's another little photo that's offset just on a little bit of a tilt, and using some of those beautiful mix-in patterns for that one. Alrighty. Next up, we have some stencils. I love that they're including stencils. So down here at the bottom, we've got a balloon stencil, and it gives you 3 different layers that you can use to create your pattern. These are 12 by 12 stencils. So nice and big. I actually have them here. So there's the solid balloons, there's the tails, and then there's also the patterns for the balloons. So if you only want solid balloons and tails, you can do that. If you only want patterned balloons and tails, you can do that. Or you can layer them all up together. And then up here, we have the Celebrating Everything stamp set. So let's take a look at this. We've got Celebrating Everything, our anniversary, your graduation, your retirement, your birthday, us. Lots of fun things to be celebrating. I love all the different fonts. I love this drop shadow with sort of the stripy lettering happening in behind. Very cool. So here's the artwork. You can see how they've stenciled those beautiful balloons in the background. We've got colors of Periwinkle, Capri, Seabrook, and Journey happening here. So I think this was Seabrook and Journey that they used for the stenciling. And then some beautiful Capri cardstock. I love these little bits that they've added. Some of the Journey sequins in there and the Periwinkle dots. I love that they did a little bit of stitching just around the top and around the bottom, so it looks like it goes in behind that piece of Periwinkle cardstock going across the middle. And of course, Journey as the base cardstock for that. And some of that mix-in pattern paper that was a horizontal stripe, they used as a vertical stripe, which kind of plays up that idea of the balloons floating away. So those are the Celebrating Everything stamp set and balloon stencils. And then, if you love trucks, we've got something for you, because here is the beautiful back of this older truck. And there's all sorts of things we can put on this truck. So on the tailgate, we can put love you, hello, and thanks. But on the license plate, which is left empty, we've got Great Dad, happy birthday to you, HB2U, 16, Hot Rod, love you to pieces, XOXO, classic, blessed, miss you, you rock, you're great, you're number one, hugs, best dad, way to go and enjoy. And then there's also a little bit of a stripy pattern on there. So let's take a look at that. Look at that. We didn't even stamp it on the tailgate. We stamped it on the card. But you could totally stamp it on the tailgate. So we've got love you. They used a lot of the words as little borders on these different colors of cardstocks. We've got some mist, some Seabrook, and some papaya happening in here. And then there they've stamped, probably using mist across the bottom. And then a little bit of glitter paper underneath the tires to kind of create that nubbly road. Some layering up with cardstocks, little hand-drawn border. And they did two-tone stamping. So the top, and this is probably scarlet and papaya mixed together. And then look at this one, all in greens, colored with some pencil crayons. This one was colored with marker. And isn't that beautiful? I love, again, they put hugs all across there. Thank you. You're number one. Beautiful. Now let's flip back over. There are two more stamp sets on here. We've got Sunny Days Ahead stamp set, and that is important to make mention of because that is going to be the door prize for today's catalog launch party. So your participation gets you into the door prize draw. So we have this Sunny Days Ahead stamp set. Here's also the tailgate greetings stamp, because of course I had to get that. But this is going to be our door prize draw for today. Set that aside. And then also winter wishes and snowflake kisses with beautiful snowflakes around it. So let's see how they've used that. This one they've put some inking in behind with some Seabrook, stamped it up with the mist, added in some stamped images as well as some die cut shapes on there. Layering up. Look, it's just cardstock. There's no pattern paper on this one. A little bit of gel pen for stitching, some glitter paper. Super cute. And then this one, again, just cardstock. You'll notice all of these, with the exception, nope, all of these, just cardstock and glitter paper. And so that's super fun. They've done some distressing with ink around the edges of this one, but also with some sanding on this one. I love how they added just that little pop of color on the suns. There's that postage stamp frame that we're going to see in a minute. So those are the tailgate greetings, Sunny Days Ahead, and Snowflake Kisses stamps. Michelle's liking the balloon stencil. Awesome. Laura, I know, that's the problem. When you look through the catalog, all the new things to look forward to. This is a fun page. And you know what? This is one of the pages that kind of jumped out at me because I thought, oh, this is really kind of unique. So we've got some stamp sets and some thin cuts. So this very first one here is called Neighborhood Scene Stamp Set. And it says thinking of you as the sentiment. Then we've got the Waterfront Scene Stamp Set with My Dear Friend. So you've got your little cabins or cottages up on the raised up on stilts. And then down here we've got Countryside Scene Stamp Set. So we've got a house and a barn or a drive shed. We've got a little church in the background. There's a bridge. Thank you for your kindness. And then this last one is the Alpine Scene Stamp Set. So this would be great for that Whistler crop that we just had, right? Those sort of rugged, wintry houses with lots of piles of snow and mountains in behind and evergreen trees. And it says heartfelt sympathy on this one. Then we have the frames. So there's a 3x3 postage frame and thin cuts. There's a 3x3 window frame thin cut and a 3x3 photo frame thin cut. So let me lift these up so you can get a better look. So there's the neighborhood. There's the waterfront. There's the countryside. and then the alpine. It's almost like different seasons too, right? This one looks more fall because the leaves are coming off the trees. Winter, spring, you know, you think about the summer at the cottage type of thing. And then the different thin cuts. Okay. And these are all 3x3. So they're a nice size for cards, but also for on layouts. And so here they've layered up, putting the picture in behind the postage frame, beautiful coloring with pencil crayons, and some of that ledger paper from the Sweet Memories collection. Here we've got some mix-in pattern, a little bit of harbor, some sanding around the edges or distressing, and we've made it look like a window with that beautiful alpine scene outside. A little bit of heart acrylic dots there on the ends. And here's the, this is the postage stamp one. It almost looks like a scallop because it's got this, the stripe in behind from the mix-in. And they were mentioning that what they did to get this second layer with the stripe that's larger than the first one, they just took this stripe, cut out the frame, cut it in the center, and pulled it apart a little bit. And your eye doesn't even see where that is because it's hidden behind the center of the frame. So you get that extra little distance on the sides, and you see a little bit in between on the top and bottom, but you don't see where the gap is. How cool is that? They hid it. And then, of course, there's that photo one with the beautiful florals in behind from Sweet Memories. And the photo frame, nice spot for adding a little placard at the bottom. And also beautifully colored. Loving that. Brenda's liking the window. Yes. Trying to make a window thin cut by hand. That's so much easier with the thin cut, isn't it? For sure. Now, this is another stamp set that went into my cart because there are so many good sentiments in here. And if you're like me and you do make cards, the sentiments, it's nice to have good sentiments to draw on when you're thinking, okay, what sentiment am I going to put on the front of this card? So this set is called Remember This Moment. And these also, they work for cards, but they also are nice little subtitles for layouts or adding those extra little words, okay? So you've got always something to be thankful for, captured memories, celebrate everything, living the good life. Life is a beautiful ride. How lucky we are. Remember this moment. Choose to shine. You and me. You make me happy. Wild at heart. You have my heart. It's the little things. Friendship. Say yes to new adventures. This life is blessed. Remember always and forever. Our story. Good things take time. Aren't those awesome? And to have so many of them in one collection is wonderful. I love that every font is different, so you're not going, oh, it's the same old, same old. They're all different, and that is fabulous. Now, down here, you're going to see something a little bit different. You've got die-cut word strips. So it's a sheet of paperboard die cuts that's 6 by 12, and there's white, gray, khaki, and tan, and they're all these shapes. So remember all those little sort of labels that I've been pointing out? There's dovetailed end ones, and yeah. So that's in white, gray, khaki, and tan. Die-cut word strips. So let's take a look. Here, look, these are 6 by 6 layouts, and you can see how that 3 by 3 frame really creates a nice moment on those 6 by 6 layouts. Adding in some cardstock and pattern paper, some of those die cuts from the Sweet Moments, and then the beautiful pattern paper in behind. But here you can see they've got those die-cut word strips, and here's another one stamped with one of the words from that stamp collection, How Lucky We Are. Then over here, there's a tiny little strip of that same pattern paper, but they've used the photo frame, and again, one of those word strips with the sentiment, You Have My Heart. There's that little die cut from the Sweet Moments die cuts. It says Photo Op with a little heart, and another die cut over here, and a strip of journaling going along there. Look at this one. They've used that idea of taking your little scrappy bits, layering them up, and this is a 6x6 page, so it doesn't take much to add those little flags there. We've got pattern papers and cardstocks all layered up, and it's a nice way to incorporate a little pop of color. This photo doesn't really have a wide range of colors, so it's nice to add those little pops. And I think because this is a wintry photo, having that white background in there almost gives you the impression of a snowy background. And then here we've got some Harbor and Capri and White Daisy and also Shortbread all stuck together. And those are a really fun combination, layered up with some of those die-cut word strips with some hand journaling and some stamping. And look at that guy. So cute. And then there's that die-cut photo. I like that they incorporated the little Capri heart right on the die cut for the camera. So cute. So that's the Remember This Moment stamp set and die cut word strips. Next page, we have 2 alphabets. You remember I was saying we're going to have some alphabets in this catalog. We have 2 to choose from. We have the Lollipop alphabet set, and we have the Shadow alphabet stamp set. So the Lollipop one looks kind of like lollipop sticks. Nice, thin. I love the little serifs on there. And there's also a question mark and an exclamation. The G almost looks like a little arrow, like a swirl with an arrow. Like you could almost use it, you know, this way, just as a little symbol. I think that's fun. Again, the O could be used as a little oval. It's nice when you can think of different ways to use your alphabets too. And then look at how bold these shadow alphabets are. And this one, they include the question mark, the exclamation, the and, the brackets, a little asterisk, comma, and a period. So that's kind of fun, a little extra bit there. So those are Lollipop and Shadow alphabets. And here they have been used as a title or as, it's actually probably a slimline card. And so it says welcome, and they've done a little bit of border happening there, a little bit of drawn stitch lines. Then on this layout, we've got love you. I love that they stamped the love in black, but on peach maybe, cardstock. And then the U is in candy apple on white. Then they've got details done in the Lollipop alphabet. There's some fun patterns from the Let's Party here, that stripe, but then also some of those more subtle mix-ins to kind of tone it down. We've got BFF happening there. Look at this one. They just did lots of alphabet letters all around as background stamping, and then XO, thinking that would be a lovely Valentine card or an anniversary card. And then here we've got some strips of pattern and zip strip and cardstock in behind. And then first, second, third generation stamping. So first, second, third generation. So you just use your scrap paper to help you with that. And it makes a lovely celebrate. Adding in some little stars for decoration. Super cute. So Lollipop and Shadow alphabets. Fun. Now, previously, alphabets were in the core catalog, so they were available all year long. That is no longer the case. They are available during January, February, but it's while supplies last after that. So they're not available all year. It's kind of one of those decide now kind of moments. Then we have our stamps of the month. So for January, new year and new everything. People make resolutions, stuff like that. So the stamp of the month for January is called Looking Forward. I love it's got this this little note piece where you can make a list. And you notice that this is one of our new stamps of the month where you can actually get thin cuts. So the thin cut for this has that sort of torn notebook, spiral bound notebook paper look to it, which is super cool and makes a nice little additive onto a page. Then we've got The Best Is Yet to Come, The Magic of New Beginnings, Goals, Adventures, there's a little arrow, Beautiful New Beginnings. We've got a list, 1 through 5, New Moments, New Memories, New Adventures, Looking Forward to, Coming Next. Lots of things that are great to add onto a layout. So here's some examples. They've got the beautiful plaid, black and white plaid from the mix-ins, along with some other pattern papers from the mix-ins. I love that this is very much blues. It's my thing. But they've put in the pop of green here because all these photos have beautiful green. So they've added little pops of that limeade in there, as well as honey butter, to bring out those greens and add a little bit of contrast. They've got The Best Is Yet to Come, and of course this is, you know, first day of grade whatever. And so Beautiful New Beginnings is the title. Then they've got some little subtitles, the goals, what is he gonna be doing in school, what's coming next, and this nice little scallopy circle, The Magic of New Beginnings, a little bit of a date there, some hand-drawn borders, super fun. So that is the stamp of the month. Now the trick with the stamp of the month is that you can get the stamp of the month. You spend $60 on an order and you can add the stamp of the month for $6.75. You can purchase it just as a stamp set and for the full cost, which is $27. But if you're a VIP and you put in your $60 order, you can get this stamp for free. Now, if you want it with the thin cuts, there's an additional cost for the thin cuts, of course. So if you spend $60, then it's going to cost you $20.25 for the stamp and thin cuts. And the VIPs just pay the price of the thin cut. So you'll have to look that up as a VIP to know how much the thin cut costs, if you want that part. And then in February, stamp of the month, we have Say It With Flowers. Of course, February is Valentine's Day, but also a good time for celebrating friendships. In Canada, we have Family Day, I believe, is in February too. So that's super fun. So here we have some beautiful florals. So we have this bunch of florals together with leaves. We have some individual florals and leaves. And then we have just the little cluster and just the petals of the florals and a little leaf. We've got Sending You Love, Thinking of You, Grateful for You, Friend. So here they've used that cluster right here to create a little bit of a swag in the corner, and then probably some of these additional little flowers just to fill in a little bit more, and also to add some detail around the circle. A little bit of stitching, a little bit of edge inking, a little bit of splattering in the background, and some little dovetailed pieces. Then this one, we've got that lovely stripe from the mix-in, some pine glitter paper or shimmer trim, then some beautiful sapphire cardstock here with that beautiful mix-in patterns going along there, and then stamping actually in the new royal color, which looks beautiful with these violets, don't they? And so some of these are stamped on the base, and some are stamped and then cut out and colored, it looks like, with the pencil crayons. So that's the January, February stamps of the month. So if you have not yet joined the VIP program and you love the stamps of the month, that is a great perk, getting those stamps for free, or just paying the little bit extra to also get the thin cuts, because there are actually thin cuts for both of these particular stamp sets. They're not always available for stamp of the month, but they are for these too. And then of course we have our list of all our cardstocks and inks that are available, and the re-inkers for them in all of our beautiful colors. And that is the end of our catalog. I hope you guys enjoyed going through that. Here are those stamps of the month, so you can see them in their full size. And I hope you guys feel some inspiration for some crafty goodness. Even if you don't have the particular items in the catalog, all of those ideas are great for adding to your repertoire of things. I love looking at how clustering is done on layouts and cards to give me ideas of how I can do it for my own crafting. And so if you place an order now that this catalog has gone live. Your first order, if you have an account on the website, then you will get a copy of this catalog for free that you can keep and use and get ideas from, and that is wonderful. So I will be back on, let me see, it is 2:04. I will be back on at 2:30 with a live crafting video. And again, we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be posted to the YouTube live, and then I'll put the link in the event so that you can click on that. In order to use the live chat, you will need to log into YouTube with your Gmail account. And I love that because then I can see what you're saying and how you're feeling about all the things. And I don't feel like I'm just talking into the abyss when I'm chatting here for a couple hours. So we will see you at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time for our first live crafting video using some of the goodness from this catalog. We'll see you then. All right, toodaloo. Bye.